into mental moments where small changes can have lasting ripples. I wanted to take a moment to talk about something that has been coming up for clients, uh, particularly this week, and that is thinking about the elections. Okay. I'm in the United States, and of course, we have an election coming up in November. We had a Supreme Court decision that came back that granted widespread immunity for a president in official acts. And there's a lot of noise, a lot of people talking about how this is a frightening thing, a scary thing. And so I wanted to take a moment to help to talk about those people with a lot of anxiety thinking about these kinds of things. Number one is be very particular about where you're getting the news. Very, very particular. A lot of people will have opinions about something and put it out there as, oh, this is a fact, when it is a political opinion. So, look at the news source. Are they just talking about the actual facts of the situation? Or are they editorializing? In other words, they're getting up there and going on their soapbox and tell you, oh, it's the end of the world as we know it, or it's roo rah roo. And that's important to remember because regardless of the direction that the election goes, it's kind of like a football game. I love football, so I always use football analogies. It's like a football game. Team A plays Team B. Team A wins. Okay, if Team A winning causes everybody to be happy, why is half of the fans in the stands unhappy? Because they were fans of Team B. So that's important to understand because there's some people who are looking at the election going, yes, things are going in the right direction. Other people look at the election and go, it's not. And some are like, don't care one way or the other. Apathy is a thing. Scary, but it's a thing. Okay, that's editorializing. Scary is a thing. That's an editorial. That's an example of an opinion. So we have to remember if you're nervous, it's very likely you're not of the camp saying America's going in the direction you want it to go in. Okay, now you might be thinking, but there is reasons to be scared. Mm, that's an opinion. Now, if you are marginalized groups like your LGBT community, there's a lot of hate crime against that, of certain religious groups, immigration status, color of skin. There's a lot of categories that we can look at that have been marginalized in this country, and that is a fact. Now, if you're a member of those populations, is it a surprise that you may be anxious about? But I also say that not every person of one of those populations is nervous. So again, it comes down to our opinion. Now, instead of being worried about it and being sick about it, there's some things you could do. Number one, test the news sources where you're getting your information. Are they valid? Or are they using outrage or sensation or your anxiety in order to sell things like ratings? So you got to remember there's that. So number one, where are you getting your news from? Check your news source. Number two, if you are a member of one of those populations of which is marginalized, it doesn't make sense to worry about it. No, you can do things, and there are a lot of things that you can do. Getting involved in the politics, getting involved in this, that, or the other. Voting, for example, supporting all sorts of things that you can do. So you can research, what can I do to support? And then three, why worry? Worrying is like rocking in a rocking chair. It's a lot of energy expended, but there's no outcome based on worrying. Absolutely none. I can worry all day long about something, and all I'm going to do is probably give myself ulcers. So worrying doesn't help anything. So, okay, but what does? Being concerned and act on that concern. So if you're concerned because, the election and, you see the country in a direction that is not, of your liking, what can you do? And that's getting involved, et cetera, et cetera. Talking to people, what can you do individually? And limiting yourself on the digestion of all these news programs. I'm not saying that news programs are bad. No, we go to the news to watch the news. But once you know what the stories are, it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep going back and rereading them to remind yourself to be excited, be upset, etc. So, monitor that, and moderate that. as with everything, everything in moderation, because, at the end of the day, are you going to spend your whole day sitting there going, oh my God, this thing that could happen in November? Or are you going to do some things that you can help um, offset? This is one of those situations where it's big, so it can feel very undaunting. Of like, what can I actually do? What are the things I can actually do to impact this? And when it's big like this, it seems like a lot less. But there are still activities that you can do to be concerned and act on that concern. And self-care, I can't say that enough. Oh my goodness. During times of, extraordinary times like this, where there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of, potential, if you're of that camp, a potential going not in the right direction. Yeah. So take care of yourself. A lot of deep breathing, moderate your news intake, moderate social media. What are some of the things you can do? One, check your news source. Two, take good care of yourself, lots of good oxygen. Three, moderate those social media, moderate the news coverage, and then look at what you can do and then do those things you can do.